Hi, everyone. I think we got the audio working. I was trying to figure out the podcast audio for the last 5 minutes. So that's why we're a little late starting, but I think we're good. So thanks for all showing up again. Today, we are talking about how to make friends when you're scared of getting rejected. So, for those of you who are new here, hi, my name's Nicole Jean. I'm your people skills coach, and I help you converse with ease and speak up so that you can get friends as a grown up. And today we're having a really great discussion, a really great mini training, live stream, or podcast episode. And we're talking about how how do you make friends as an adult when you're afraid of getting rejected from other people? And the reason I'm talking about this is because I got a comment on one of my YouTube videos or YouTube shorts recently from a follower. And basically, it goes, I'm afraid of rejection. I have rejection sensitivity. I can make new friends, but I can't maintain them. The thought of reaching out to others is exhausting, and I get nervous in person, and after a while, I either fixate on their shortcomings or I worry about my own shortcomings will be a burden for them. And this was actually a liked comment. So I know there's more than one person thinking about this. So I thought this would be a great topic for a live or a podcast episode. So let's talk about this. Being rejected when you're trying to make friends, when you're conversing in conversations and opening yourself up to other people's opinions or strangers. Rejection is very real for all of us, even for me. Have you ever been afraid of rejection when making a friend? I cannot tell you that rejection will never happen because it will. In fact, I guarantee rejection will happen. We've all been rejected in life. I'm sure everyone has at least once. I've been rejected many times. In grade school, I was rejected when no one picked me to be on their sports team during PE class, which, in their defense, I am not an athletic person. I cannot throw a ball for the life of me. My husband hangs his head in shame when I try to throw a ball to him. It's really sad. I was rejected from numerous job interviews after college. I interviewed job after job after job. You know how it goes when you graduate college. Now it's time to join the real world, look for jobs, start adulting. And yeah, I got rejected from job interviews back and forth. And even in my 20s, I was rejected from cute guys that I personally would ask out, that I would initiate asking out, and they rejected me. And it hurts. Right? Let's be honest. Being rejected, it hurts. It viscerally hurts. It it makes you feel like you're not enough for someone. It makes you feel like you're not enough, that you'll be left alone in the world. And for many of us, it brings us closer to the fear of not being loved. It brings us closer to the fear of that we are not lovable. And that's the true foundation of the fear of being rejected, is that if we're rejected, it means we're not loved. It means we're not lovable. And that fear is paralyzing. That fear, it really stops you from having courage to take action, to step outside your comfort zone and to do the hard things, the inner work to get you where you want your life to go. Uh, V says, totally agree. It brings me closer to that I'm not lovable. I hear you. I totally hear you, V. And so today I have two tips. I have two tips for you on how to help you get over or get past your fear of rejection when you want to make more friends in your adult life. So here they are. Tip number one, turn fear on itself. Turn fear on itself. Ask yourself, what is this fear costing me in my life? Instead of just saying, I'm scared, turn it on itself. Ask, what is this fear costing me? And remember, the most important story you tell yourself is a story you tell yourself about yourself. And so, what do you keep telling yourself when you think about possibly getting rejected? When you're thinking hypothetically, what if I get rejected? What will happen? What do you tell yourself? Do you tell yourself, You think to yourself, if I'm rejected, it means I'm not good enough. It means I'm not lovable. Or do you tell yourself, this fear is costing me my happiness? This fear is costing me the life I want. It's costing me time, the time it takes to get to having the life I want. I'm going to give you an example because I love fleshing these out with real life examples to kind of paint a picture. So for me personally, I've done 50 plus live streams on Instagram, and now I'm joining on the YouTube and the podcast. I've done over 50 live streams. And so you'd think I don't get nervous. But secret is I do get nervous. I get so nervous every time, like the 10 minutes or 5 minutes before I hit live, I am nervous. My heart is palpating. My armpits are they're a little sweaty right now. I'll be honest with you. And my stomach is doing flip flops. The 5-10 minutes before I hit live, I am always tempted. Every week, I'm tempted to cancel the live stream and to just hide under my covers, my bed covers, hide in my pajamas where it's safe and it's comfortable. But when you see me on the live stream or when you hear me on the podcast, you are watching the choice I made despite that fear. And so my fear of going on live stream and talking to people will cost me this. This is what I think to myself, and this is what you're seeing me why I'm in front of you. I don't get to practice my speaking skills. That is what this fear is going to cost me, is that I don't get to practice my public speaking skills. My not constantly practicing my speaking skills means I will always be scared of publicly speaking. And the truth is, I want to be a motivational speaker someday. Like in 10 years, I want to travel and give motivational talks to people, all types of people all around the world, and leave this world a better place before I leave this world. That's one of my dreams. That's one of my biggest dreams. But that dream will always stay a dream if I don't do what my future self requires me to do in my present day. And so I look at what is my fear of hitting live, going on live stream, talking to you, connecting with you. What is that fear costing me? That fear is costing me the time I need to constantly practice my speaking skills and to be able to be a little less nervous every time. It may take, I've done live stream over 50 times. It may take me 500 live streams to feel very confident in publicly speaking. And so I don't want to lose that time every week. I could be practicing, I could be doing a live stream and talking to you. And so by looking at what the fear is costing me, I am being my best friend to my future self. So the cost of me not going live is my future. If I choose to let fear win today and I don't go on live, then I'm no better than a schoolyard bully. Being a bully to myself if I let that fear win. I'm giving myself the story that I'm not good enough that to be a speaker. I will never be good enough to be a speaker. It's too hard. It's too overwhelming. But you're seeing me on live, you're hearing me on the podcast. I am shaping the story I am telling myself about myself, that despite that I feel fear, I am brave enough to choose to get 1% closer to my future self. And so I want you to choose to focus on what your fear is costing you. Turn that fear on itself. So that's tip number 1 in how to move past the fear of getting rejected when you're wanting to make friends. Tip number 2. Tip number 2 for you today. Rejection will happen. I mentioned this earlier. Rejection will happen, and I guarantee it. There are over 8 billion people on this planet. The census is in. We officially have surpassed 8 billion people on this planet. For a long time, it was 7 billion, but now it's officially 8 billion people. That's a lot of people. And I promise you, not everyone is going to like you. Not everyone is going to naturally vibe and have that organic, natural chemistry with you. But instead of feeling hurt, be thankful. Be thankful you're being rejected, because the truth is, being rejected is wonderful. Because the sooner someone rejects you, the sooner you can stop wasting and investing your time and energy in them and go find your people. So when that happens, I want you to think, thank you for rejecting me. Thank you for saving me time, my energy. Your time and your energy are your most invaluable assets. Everyone, each person, you, me, everyone on this planet has 24 hours a day and only so many years of our life. No amount of money, no amount of good deeds will buy you more time. So your time is your most valuable asset. So it is your job to protect it. So when you get rejected, think to yourself, thank you for rejecting me. I am now one person closer to finding my people. Now, I do want to stipulate there is a caveat to this tip. So when you're getting rejected by other people, it's really important to know why. Why are you being rejected? Are you being rejected because you and this other person don't have anything in common, no common interests or hobbies, or you just don't have that organic natural chemistry? That's okay. That's natural. Or do you have difficulty articulating yourself in conversations? Do you stumble over your words? You have word vomit, or you go mentally blank during small talk? And so people see this version of you that's not really you. It's like you're stuck behind this invisible wall and you can't break through to show who you really are, this shining bright light inside of you. And so you don't know how to get past that wall. And so people see this version of you that gets the deer in the headlights, dumbstruck, go mentally blank, and you don't know how to articulate yourself. And if that's the case, then you definitely need to watch the most recent live stream, or listen to the most recent podcast episode. It's called One Piece of Hard Feedback That I Received That You Can Benefit From. And this will take this whole discussion about not able to articulate yourself well and not being able to show who you really are to a deeper level, and really help you get that little step closer to the version that you want to present to the world, the version of you want to present to the world. And being open to feedback and growing to more skillful, stronger, confident conversations makes life so much easier, so much better, so much more fulfilling. In the meantime, I really, really hope this episode was helpful for you today, help you feel a little more confident in going out there, conversing with other people, and making friends despite you fearing rejection. You can choose if rejection is painful. You can choose the story you tell yourself, about rejection, about possibly getting rejected, or about when you get rejected. You are valuable, you are wildly capable, and you are invited to have the life you want, filled with quality friends that you consider family. And that's the culture here at Socially Awkward Bootcamp, my one-on-one coaching service. It's 12 weeks of coaching personally and with me, and 12 weeks of focus and patience can put you easily 5 years ahead in life or more. And so I want you to picture this. It's happy hour. It's Friday evening. You got off work and you're driving up to the restaurant, and you pull up to the side, or you're parallel parking to the sidewalk because you found this great parking space right in front of the restaurant. You pull up and you kill the ignition, and you look ahead of you and you see the restaurant. The window lights are lit up. There's twinkling lights hanging along the frame, and you see silhouettes inside. You see people and hear people mingling, talking, clinking glasses. And normally 12 weeks ago, you would be trembling at the thought of having to strike up a conversation with a stranger. But today, you open the door and you take your first step out of the door. And women, if you're wearing your high heels, you know that first step out of the car is a little wobbly because you've been sitting in the car for a little while. So you're getting your bearings. You take that first step out of the car and you feel at ease. You feel confident. In fact, you go past that. You feel excited. You feel excited. You feel excited to connect with other people. You feel excited to connect and converse with other people, even if you're going to get rejected by one or two, because you know that tonight will bring you closer to the life you want, to the friends you crave to have in your life, and even closer to the confident version of you that you know you're capable of becoming. And that's the picture you want to see, right? And so I invite you, if that's the picture you want, I invite you, apply to Social Awkward Bootcamp. I would love to talk to you and see if I'm a good fit, if my coaching experience is a good fit for you to help you become that version of yourself and help you converse with ease so you can magically make friends anytime and anywhere. All right. I will talk to you soon. I hope this episode was helpful. I just want to let you know that I am always here rooting for you. And I will talk to you in the next episode. Whew. All right. We are done with the recording. Let me turn off the podcast recording. Oops, this. Whew. All right. I need to take a breather. I always get nervous recording the podcast, and I'm always relieved when I'm done and I can stop and take a breather. All right. I'm just gonna check the Instagram here. Oh, we got some comments here. V, totally agree. Yes, it definitely, being rejected, it definitely brings you closer to the truth that possibly you're not lovable. Absolutely. Victor, hey, thanks for popping in. All right. Girl Candid. Okay. Wow, this is deep. I'm so glad. Uh, Girl Candid asks, how can we know the why? What if it isn't us? All right. I'm assuming you mean the why, like why we're rejected. Is that I'm assuming that's what it is. It's not, please type it in the comments and let me know, give me clarity. But I'm assuming so. Someone on Instagram, a underscore girl candid 97. She's asking, how can we know the why? How can we know if it isn't us? So I'm assuming you mean, how do we know why we're rejected? And to be honest, if you're not given clarity, you need to ask for it. That's the only way to find out. I don't want you wasting your time assuming that you know why. The best way is to ask for clarity. And I know it sounds scary. It's say like this is an interview, like a job interview. You go to a job interview and you ask, or you do the interview. What are your strengths or weaknesses? Why do you want to work with us? And then at the end of the interview, they say, okay, we'll call you about our decision later. And you go home, you write them a thank you note and all those things, and you're sitting at home crossing your fingers and like, oh, I hope I get the job. I really want it. And you get a call a couple days later, maybe a week later, and saying, oh, we decided to go with a different candidate. And normally it's recommended to ask for why. And that's called, I believe it's called an exit interview when you're doing job interviews, is that, why did you not pick me for the position? Or is there something that I could have done better in my interview that I can work on? Or so you make it kind of a personal development type of thing. And so, when you're doing a job interview and you get rejected, it's encouraged that you ask why for clarity so that you can, one, get better, and then two, understand the reason why they didn't accept you for the job, and not overthink it in your brain. Because if we don't know the why, we start overthinking, we make up stories in our head, and that's paralyzing. That's paralyzing, right? And we don't feel good about that. And so it's the same thing. And so if if you're trying to make friends and you you're trying to make friends with people and they reject you. It could be either they're ghosting you. It could be either that they say, maybe they're really blunt and they say they don't want to get together with you, of the sort. Like, I don't know the context. I'm going blank on making up examples right now, but I'm just trying to give you some context. If unless you're given clarity, you really need to ask for clarity. And that is absolutely your right to ask for that clarity, because you will only benefit from knowing. Only good can come from that. It can be painful if someone says, "Oh, I don't want to be friends with you because XYZ." And yeah, it can be painful to hear that. It can be painful to know, oh, someone doesn't like how I look, how I talk, my hobbies, my interests. And again, one, be thankful because that means that you guys were not meant to be friends, the two of you. But two, be thankful you asked for that clarity because now you know why and you can move on instead of going home and not knowing why and thinking in your head, is it because I look weird? Is it because I talked weird? Because I said this one thing? Like you don't know. And then by assuming, you're actually creating all these negative thoughts in your head based on nothing, based not on fact, but on fiction, on made up thoughts in your brain. That's wasting your time, wasting your energy. I just said time is your most valuable asset. And so ask for clarity. And three, every time you ask for clarity, you are becoming so much more confident because you are finding out what you need to move on. You are finding out the question, you're answering the questions you have in your head. You're being your best friend by being confident to ask for clarity. All right. A girl Candace says, thank you. I need to hear that. I am very, very happy that that was helpful. I'm I'm really happy about that. And I hope I made your day. I hope I made your night wherever you are in the world. And just let that marinate, let that sit with you that yes, you have the right to ask for clarity. You need to be brave enough to ask for clarity and you need to be able to regulate your own emotions when you receive that feedback because you're asking for honesty. And so you may get the brutal truth, but you will only benefit from that because you can move on then. Okay? All right. Um, let's see. Yeah. A girl Candace says one more question though, if it's okay. Absolutely. Go ahead and send it in. I'm just looking at the YouTube. I don't see any questions on the YouTube live stream. If you're watching the replay on this live stream, absolutely drop a question in the chat or the comments, and I'm happy to answer your questions. Absolutely. You can also DM me on at it's Nicole Jean, and I'm more than happy to answer your questions as well. I value you spending your time watching the live stream or watching the replay. And so that's my gift to you is to give you some live coaching, some live feedback to help you take away value from spending time here. So that's my gift to you. All right. A girl candid, I'm still waiting for your question to come in. Let me know. Next week, we're going to have a live stream about if you think you're a boring person and how you can be a less boring person or not be or be a more interesting person. It's going to be a really good talk. I'm still working on the outline, but I'm excited. I've had a lot of questions about, oh, I'm a boring person. How do I make myself sound more interesting or more captivating or charismatic? So it'll be a really good talk next week about what to do if you're a boring person. Okay, so a girl candidate 97 has another question. And she says, what if the person to whom we ask the why kind of behaves flaky and doesn't give you the clarity that you are seeking for, and they stonewall you on further questioning? How can we move past that? All right, that's a very specific question. Has that happened to you, a girl candid? I'm just curious. You don't have to answer that. I know it's a probably painful if that has happened. Okay, so for all of you, if you have been rejected by someone and they stonewall you, they ghost you, that you ask for clarity, like, hey, what's going on? I thought we were friends. Is there something going on, or you're too busy, or you don't want to be friends? You can be open and honest with me. I'm open to feedback, and they just don't want to give you an answer. They just don't want to give you that clarity that you did everything you were supposed to. You asked nicely. You were brave enough to ask for the clarity, and they didn't provide it to you. Then you have to remember that that is their choice, and that there's a reason why that person isn't brave enough to tell you. All right. Everyone is on their own life journey. Everyone is on their own life journey in becoming who they are. And everyone is fighting a battle you know nothing about. For example, if say you and your friend are going to dinner, you and your friend have a dinner date and your friend flakes on you last minute. They tell you, "Oh, I can't make it." They tell you last minute, no reason, no rationale, they just flake on you. And they tend to flake on you a lot. This is kind of their reputation. And the truth is that person may be going through a battle of not feeling confident enough to voice their their thoughts, to voice their priorities, to voice what they want in their life. And that's a journey itself of being confident enough to tell other people what you want, what's important to you, and not to people please. A lot of people are going through that battle. And you feeling hurt when someone flakes on you is a byproduct of that person's life journey in their struggle, in their journey of finding their voice and finding their voice to confidently tell people what are their needs, their wants, their desires, their goals. And so the hurt that you felt is a byproduct of that. It was not intended. It's just it that was just a byproduct. And so if that's the case, that person flakes on you, that person stonewalls you, they just won't give you the clarity, that is on them. And it is your job to realize that until they become that person, they cannot provide you the friendship at the level that you want. When you are brave enough to ask for clarity, you're brave enough to bring up the heart tough conversations like, "Hey, what's going on? How come you keep flaking? How come we don't talk? How come you keep hanging up or don't answer my calls or don't respond to my text messages?" And you are brave enough to tell them about that, but they're not meeting you at the same level that you are ready to be a friend. They're like down here. They're down below. If you're they're down below. They have a lot more inner work to do. And so at that point, what your job is to do is to wish them their best on their life journey and then move on to find your people, the people who are on your level in terms of emotional maturity, in terms of readiness to have honest, hard conversations, to have that confidence, to have honest, hard conversations. And so I hope that was a helpful answer, Girl Candid, in that you sometimes if the other person just won't give you this the hard the clear if some people won't have the clear conversations with you, you just kind of have to accept that they're not in that same place as you. They're not ready to have that emotional maturity as you, and that itself is closure. That itself is closure that they're not the right person for you at this time in point. Maybe in a year, maybe in 5 years they will be. But at this point in time, that's the closure you have. That's closure you needed, and it's you just wish them the best and realize that they're not meant to be the same friendship level as you, and then you just move on and find your people. All right. All right. I hope that was helpful, Girl Candid. Mama Lonnie just joined. Hi, Mama Lonnie. We actually just wrapped up, but thank you for coming in. I appreciate you spending your time here. All right, it's been about 30 minutes. I always try to be respectful of everyone's time. I'm going to sign off the live stream. If you have any more questions, please feel free to drop it in the comments and the YouTube live stream replay, or just DM me on Instagram. My handle is at It's Nicole Jean. It's all in the show notes or the description box below. And I'm happy to answer any more questions you have. All right. As always, I'm rooting for you and I can't wait to connect with you on the next live stream. Bye.